Hi all. We are here to do the financial goals hop. It is my day. I am Nikki with DragonflySaves. And yesterday we seen Just a Chick budgets. And tomorrow we're going to see Jack My Girl budgeting. But there is all these other ladies from the 1st of April until you're seeing me today that have inspired and encouraged and have worked so hard to get where they're at. Please go check out their channels. The playlist is down below. It doesn't matter which order you watch them in. If you go to the playlist and you see that it's not from like the oldest to the newest, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Click on one, watch it. You're gonna get inspired no matter who you watch. So before we get into all the paperwork and what's happening, we're gonna go backwards. And I'm gonna talk to you about me. It's important that we go backwards a little bit so that you can understand me and maybe where I'm coming from or where I've been and what's happening now, which we will also go over. So hello, my name is Nikki, and I started my channel, which is DragonflySaves, on February 17th, 2024. I am a mom of 2 adults. My daughter, McKenna, she is 23. She's in her 2nd year of teaching kindergarten. My son, Dominic, is turning 22 at the end of May. He has some medical things that have kind of derailed what he can and cannot do. But yet, all through that, he has thrived and was able to work part-time at a local fast food place until November. In November, he had like a medical emergency at work, and that was on November 5th. We spent 2 days in the emergency room, and he was in the hospital for 5 weeks. He came back the middle of December. And he's doing well, but there's still lots of appointments, and he's not allowed to go back to work yet. When I started my channel, I was not in debt. However, with my son not able to work and being in the hospital, my dad dying at the same time in November, and my income at the time was a lot less, there was some emotional spending, which hasn't been a thing in a long time. My credit card balance started to rise, and this is not the first time I've been in debt. I was once a 21-year-old divorcee with debt now in my name that it was awarded to me. At this point, I had no idea what a credit score was or what it meant to be below 500. I was once a 25-year-old with an 18-month-old that had OTPT come to my house in my apartment, and a 3-year-old, and I had copays for medical that I didn't worry about before because it wasn't a thing. All of my copays were in collections because I didn't understand you had to pay them when a bill came. Bills weren't things that were taught to me or that you had to pay. Money wasn't allowed to be talked about in my house. I came from my mom's side is a very Italian Catholic family. Money was not talked about. It was an adult subject, and you were to leave it at that. By 30 years old, I had made plans with these collection agencies for settlements and closing of the debt, which helped to raise my credit score. It did take a long time to pay off. At 33, I got a good job. I was making communication devices for a defense and medical contractor, which afforded me at 40 years old to focus on paying all of my credit cards, my store cards, which I had a lot of debt. Like, all those were racked up. One of my debt confessions, like my very first debt confession, talks about it because there were so many credit card balances, and it was just crazy. I was paying like all this money for all these cards. And because I had the money at the time, I was making good money. I was working a lot of hours. Things were getting paid. Stuff was taken care of. And I paid them off in 2021. And I paid my car off that I had at the time by October of 22. In January of 23, at 44 years old, I quit that job that I had worked at for 10 and a half years. Not because of the job, because I loved what I did. I was a line lead in that company. It was amazing. I really liked the job. We got bought out, and my supervisor left, and we got stuck with this other supervisor who just wanted to be friends with everybody. And it didn't work out. She didn't support her like leads, and that was just not okay with me. So I quit at 44 years old. I lived off my 401k, which I don't recommend. But for me, and me alone, it was absolutely needed at the time, and I don't regret it. I lived off of that for 6 months. At 6 months, I got bored sitting at home, because it's not like I went out and went on vacations. I was home. I needed it for my mental health. Like, I needed it. I do not regret that. It was definitely needed. Then one day I was like, let me go back to work because I'm bored. I went on an interview one day and I had the job that same day, like by the time I left. And I started that job in June, at the end of June. Well, my son ended up in the emergency room and sick. And we found out at the same time my dad was dying, and he died on November 7th. He lived in Florida. Excuse me. He lived in Florida. My son got transferred to a hospital an hour away, so of course I couldn't travel to Florida. I don't regret not going because I had to be here. Cause they kept telling me my son was going to come home, so of course I had to be here. It's not a problem. I just planned to go to my dad's celebration of life, which was supposed to be at his birthday in March, and of course that hasn't happened yet. So when I missed a lot of work there for that, but I had time and it was fine. My boss was great. I can't say nothing about him. He was great. But in March, like the March we just had just now, I got sick on March 7th. I believe it was a Saturday. I have fibromyalgia. I had a really bad fibro flare. I was out of work from March 10th to March 23rd. I was supposed to go back the 24th. But the 24th through the 26th, I was sicker than crap from the medicine they had gave me like the third or fourth time I was at the doctor's. I was so sick. Work was supposed to send me disability papers, but then when we're getting ready to go back, she said, never mind, you refused, we're ending your employment. No lie, that's how it happened. So that's where this story here begins. So we're going to set this aside. That's up until March, but we're going to start here with my goals that I made. There's little scratches, and you don't really need to see them to understand, but my insurance, I wanted to save $1,200. I needed to pay that off by March, the end of March. It was supposed to be April 4th. But then I found out that my insurance company canceled me, so it went up to $1,650 for a year, but I had to pay in 6 months, so I had to have $224 more than I needed, like basically right away, or more than I thought I was going to need right away. So here's the calendar. I apologize, it's not cut out or hole punched. My house is tore apart downstairs. All my stuff is bagged up and like upstairs in my second like part of my house. So I haven't had time to cut it out. I just today dragged my printer over to a outlet so I can print all this out. So again, the calendar, please check out these ladies. They're going to be linked below. I have checked off all of the ones that I have wrote notes on because I have watched all these ladies that were before me. But because I couldn't print anything out at the time because my house is torn apart, I didn't get a chance to write it all down. But this morning I took some time, like 2.5 hours, and I spent with 7 of the ladies watching them again. And I appreciate them. So thank you. So we have this financial goals hop notes that Budget with Mama Bear is gifting everyone. So please take them. I printed out a lot of them because I thought I could do back to front, which I haven't quite figured out how to do the back to front like this. My printer always does it like this, but today my printer said no. So I have like several of these all printed out. So here's the blank one. That's what it looks like. I have written down 6 ladies, things that I've taken from their channels, and I look forward to going back and watching the other ladies again and seeing what Jack has to say tomorrow. So we also have this. This is the quarterly financial goals that you can get on DonnaPoweredByCreativities.com. That'll be linked below too. Please check her out. And my word for this year is resilience. So when we did the slideshow in I think it was in December, but for January, when we did our goals, I was thinking that my resilience was going to be based on more personal, but with given that I lost my job and stuff, it's both. It's financial and personal. So in January, my goals that are on that slideshow are save as much as I can for my dad's celebration of life in March, because at the time, that's when I thought it was going to be. Pay at least $100 towards my car repair bill, which I paid $95, so, you know, it's pretty close. Pay off Luce, which is my dog, that passed away in August, his end-of-life vet bill. I did not pay it off, so I had to move that to February, because we got close, but we didn't quite pay it off. Start travel binder. I did. However, I merged that with my dad's celebration of life. So I was using my travel binder that I had gotten, and I was saving it to go to my dad's celebration of life. So I started that. Buy groceries with a purpose and meal prep to save money. I did buy with a purpose, but the purpose was to be quick, buy quick things. So, it didn't really work out. So we're going to continue to move that until February as well. And then continue working with my apps. I have apps that I can get cash back on, so I wanted to continue that, which I did. And I also made a plan, which I didn't write here, to start using the money on the apps that I got back. I took taxes from that, like say I got $20 or whatever. I took like 25% or whatever it would be. So I'd put like, $5 in my tax high yield. Okay, I apologize if you see this cut out here and there. There's a lot of people I live on a main road, a lot of people walking down the street. So might have to cut some of their yelling out. So like I was saying, I'm going to use, if I cash it out, I'm going to send money to my high yield for my taxes. That's just going to help me save money for taxes. You know, like income taxes, which is state, and I have to pay state and federal. I live in Western New York, so we pay 2. I think that was my plan to help, because there's no way that I'm going to make over $600 in these apps. Well, per one app. So I was like, let me just save the taxes, because then I don't have to really worry about it from taking money from other things. And then the other money, so the other $15, I have to put that towards a debt. So that I started doing on Wednesdays, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. February, I wanted to pay the vet bill off because I moved it down because we didn't finish it in January, so now we have to finish it in February. And I did. I paid it off February 11th. I wanted to pay my car maintenance IOU because the end of December 24th, on the way home from work, the snow was built up by my driveway and it made my driveway look where it was, but it wasn't. So I ended up hitting the curb. I had a flat tire, and when I went to go to the garage, which is like diagonal from my house, just like basically across the street, just the way is over, my battery was dead. So I had to come over and jump it. And then we had to go over there and they had to give me a new tire. Then I had to get a new battery. It was a whole thing. I feel like I spend at least $1,200 to $1,500 a year on my car. So that's something to think about if you have a car. Save for car maintenance for sure. I am very lucky though. I don't have a car payment because like we talked about, I paid that off in October of 23. I wanted to save more of my travel binder, which I did. That travel binder I'm using for my dad's celebration of life. I wanted to work on reducing my grocery waste, which goes along with meal prep and all of that. What I mean by waste is I buy a bag of potatoes. I use 5 or 6 potatoes in a recipe. Yeah, the rest of the bag just sits there and goes to waste. Not okay. You're spending money on these groceries. I should be using them. I restarted my month ahead, but at the same time, I had a dental emergency. On February 5th, I had to take $300 from my emergency fund. I still need that tooth removed. I haven't had the tooth removed, but I did have to go to an emergency dentist and have, like, my mouth was like really swollen, so I had to have it drained and all of that. For March, I wanted to pay off my car maintenance, which I did by the end of March. I wanted to build up my sinking funds based on the need at the time. However, that got derailed because I was out of work. And because I was out of work so long, I had to take money from my travel binder, from my savings, from my summer, and from my month ahead. I had to take $990 out to survive, to pay bills. And then I also found out that my car insurance company dropped me. So I had to get another car insurance company. So instead of my bill being due April 4th, I had to pay on March 14th. No, March 21st. But I found out on the March 14th. So I had to pay on March 21st. At the time, I had $760 saved up in my envelope, which I thought I was going to have some of that money going forward because I thought it was going to be $600. So I thought I was going to have $160 to go towards the next 6 months. But my bill ended up being $824 if I paid it in full. So, or else it would be like $1,000. So I paid it in full with my credit card. I sent the $760 to my credit card. And then, I owed $64 that I paid back by the end of March with like done challenges and stuff. Okay, April. I got my last PTO check. I got paid out for my PTO, which I didn't think I was going to. It was for like 29 hours and some odd cents, so it was less than $400, but it was more money than I had coming in, so we're happy for that. I also got my federal taxes back that I've been waiting for, which was like $3,700. Now, before this, I had made a plan. I had made a plan when I found out what my taxes were going to be, so I made that plan in February. Which obviously got changed because originally I was going to use like $1,000 to go towards my trip to Florida for my dad's celebration of life. I was going to use $1,000 to put towards my credit card debt, and I was going to use $1,000 to bulk up my sinking funds. All gone because now I had to divide that. I had to make that stretch as long as I can because I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get a job, and we're hoping that by the end of this month, I have one or know of one that's going to start. So I wanted to, now I had to make sure I could pay my household bills, which I can because I have it divided out, which I use on like a regular lined paper. I take the money in my checking account, I divide that up between bills, and I stretch it as far as I can, and that's what I do. I want to make sure I can pay my minimum on my credit card payment. My credit card is due April 15th. It reports to the credit card bureau on April 18th. So on April 19th, I usually have my new bill for the month. So my minimum is already paid for this month. So any money I have, which I have to pay my cell phone bill, which I decided, because I have to save money now, that I was going to go to this year plan. I already switched to Mint Mobile months ago, like in January, I think. So my yearly plan starts yesterday. I chose the $180 plan for, I think it's like 5 gigabytes for a year, which isn't a lot of gigabytes, but I've realized that everywhere you go has Wi-Fi. You can just connect to it. I haven't really used a lot, less than 2 gigs. So that came out yesterday, and it came to $268. So I found the $21 between my birthday money and money that I had in my account that I hadn't accounted for yet. And I have that money. I'm waiting for it to clear on my credit card so I can send it over. And I will send that over right away. But I do have $296 that has to go to my credit card, but I am waiting till I get the new bill. Because now we're in survival mode. So now I have to use this money not to just pay it down, but I have to make sure I can pay the minimum bill. So I put that money, the $296 towards my credit card right now, that when my bill comes out on April 19th, I can't pay it. So we're going to have a little bit higher of a bill to be able to pay the minimum, which is not ideal, but that's just what I have to do right now. I did have an interview on the 3rd. It went really well until I started talking about certifications that I had and what they do there with their certifications, and started talking about different things that you're supposed to be able to talk about in an interview, and they didn't want to do it. To me, that was a red flag. I also had an interview on the 4th, but they had to reschedule because the person who was interviewing me ended up in the emergency room, and then they had all last week off. So hopefully they'll reschedule this week. And then on the 8th, I had to cancel because of issues here with my car, my son, and stuff like that. Hopefully they'll want to reschedule, but I don't know. And then for May, because now I had to change the way that I wanted to do this, I want to make sure I can pay my household bills, which I can because I already have that money set aside. I want to make sure I can pay my minimum on my credit card. So I don't know what that bill is going to be until April 19th. And then it'll be due by May 15th. But I do have some money to go towards that right now as it is. So hopefully it'll be at least that and not more. We'll see though. I want to eat. I don't really eat a lot, which it's contributing to my fatigue and making my fibromyalgia, making that like worse. When I do eat, it's not like, I do eat, but it's not like healthy. Like I've eaten pizza and like pasta. Mind you, I grew up in an Italian household. Pasta is life. So I also need to like eat salads. Like I ate a salad today and stuff like that. But I really need to work on that. It's a thing. And I need to work on meal planning. I've been doing better with that actually. Like recently. If I haven't got a job in April, like by the end of this month, I need to get that in May. Like I have to. I have money enough through June, probably, or like through July, I believe. But that's it. And I want to secure that job, and then I want to reevaluate my sinking funds. But right now, like I said, we're in survival mode. That is food that we can eat in the house, bills for the, like, make sure we can pay the bills in our house, and our minimum on my credit card. I am so thankful that I only have the one that has like money on it. that I have to pay down. And then when I can do that, I want to start them again, you know? I want, in May, by May 9th, I want to switch to a different internet provider. I've been talking about it for like over a year. But the one I have now has like a big monopoly. But now there's all these like fiber ones, and they're a lot less. So I want to look into that. And I have to do this by May 9th because my bill for the one I have is due on the 14th. So I want to get this taken care of. In June, I don't have a lot written down, but I want to have a budget in mind and in place. So hopefully, once I have the job, hopefully it's this month, then this will already be a thing. We don't have to worry about it. And I want to be working towards the goals that I set already, like these goals. Like you see, everything's crossed off and I have stuff written down. But I want to get back to it. And I don't have anything written down for July, August, and September yet because I'm going to do that in May. By the end of May. So when I come back here again, because Donna invited us, whoever's doing it this month, to come back again at the next one, there will be stuff written down. I will have a job and everything will be fine. So that's what we're hoping for, fingers crossed. All right, so we didn't write that down. I haven't wrote these yet. I have this Smart Goals Planner Paper Financial Goals Hop 2025. This one is by Andra, Traveling and Savings Chief. It is in her Ko-fi for like less than $1. It's called Smart. Smart. The S stands for specific. Now, I did this today, the day that I am filming, which is on Monday. And what exactly do you want to achieve? Well, I want to achieve financial stability. The M stands for measurable. How will you track your progress? Well, I'll put pen to paper. I can't even tell you how many notebooks I have where I am writing down what's in my checking account and those same bills that I want taken out going forward or that are going to come out or what have you. I write them down every day, every single day. I check my checking account every day in case something's different, which I'm very glad because I found it like a $150 difference that I was off. So I have $150 less than I thought I did. I also check my credit card every day, see what's been taken out, what's going to come out, if there's something wrong, what have you. And make the phone calls I need to make. I'm very bad at that. If it's textable, then that should be cool. I'll email just fine, but making the calls to people that I don't know freaks me out. I have like anxiety with that. It's really bad. A is for attainable. Evaluate the feasibility of your goal. It is only attainable if you work for it. And that's what I wrote down. If I just sit here and do nothing, then nothing's going to happen. That's going to be my result. Nothing will be the result. And then what? Me and my son are living in a tent? That's not going to happen. That's not okay. That's like not an option. R for relevant. How is this beneficial to your life? I want it to give me and my son a sense of financial relief. The T stands for time bound. When do you want to be finished? I do not want to be finished. I want it to continue. I want financial stability to continue. No one should want that to end. From your SMART goals above, did you meet it? Why or why not? I did meet it once. I did meet some of these ones. Obviously, this one's a continuation. And I will do it again. Then we have these 2025 goals. You can do whatever quarter you want. I just kind of did it really quick today because there's been a lot going on between appointments, interviews. I have people coming over to try and do the floor, which is taking forever. Including today when I was coming up to film. And that person wanted to talk forever, and I'm just trying to write this down while he's talking. So I was really quick about it. Oh, health-wise, this is by Budget with Mama Bear, by the way. It is in her Etsy. So for health, I want to do more stretching for my physical health, and I want to eat more and healthy amounts and have a better relationship with food in general, because I have been that very heavy person, and I have been the too skinny person. I have lost 96 pounds and had to gain some back because I did not look healthy. And I need to work on that. Family. I want to continue playing games with my son to get him out of his room more and more out in the open, to talking more. And me, same. Today, we actually, well, I'm filming this on Monday. We actually went for a walk. We walked about a half an hour, well, about 10 minutes to the park. It was a half an hour total that we were gone. And by the time we got back, which we didn't go up and down hills or anything, I was like hyperventilating. That's not okay either. So we got to work on that. But it was like 55 out today, and it was nice. And it was a good time. We enjoyed it. Travel. I want to be able to go to my dad's celebration of life. My aunt is putting this together. I've never really met her. I don't believe, maybe when I was little, I don't know. But I feel like she's dragging it on. So, my dad died in November, on November 7th. I'm hoping now she'll just wait until November or on his birthday in March. Like, she didn't do it this time. I don't know. But now, if it was right now, I wouldn't be able to go. So, hopefully that'll be something that she figures out and I can go. Personal, I didn't write anything down because I didn't know. My personal goals are all of this. But for me personally, I need to like be more open about things that are going on with me. I don't do that too often. So this is about as open as I've been, as you guys seeing me from my past, all the debts I've like paid off and been in and back up, and now I'm back in. Hobbies. I want to start reading it, and I have all these books and I love them. And I need to get back into that. It's just been so busy the last few months. I haven't done anything, but I need to take the time. And I wanted to learn to crochet months ago. I've talked about it on my channel. Have I done that? No. Not now, obviously, I can't. My aunt tried to teach me several years ago. She passed away, my great aunt, before I could really learn. But now I can't do that because I just don't have the money to buy the stuff. So obviously that's for a future thing. Financial. Well, first I need to worry about a job. The rest doesn't matter if I don't have the job. Social. I don't really have anything written down for that because I didn't know what that meant as far as me. Not as far as everybody else, but as far as me. I think social goes along with just being more open to talking about things. I've been so kind of closed off because I don't want to say because of my family, but honestly, growing up, certain things weren't allowed to be talked about. Like, you just didn't talk about certain things in the house. Money was definitely one of them. Problems was another one. You didn't have problems. You basically got over everything. So it kind of hindered everything. So we're trying to come out from that. And mind you, I'm 46 now, so it's been a struggle. Business. I wanted to do physical items on my Ko-fi. I even printed some out, showed my channel. But that got derailed when they tore apart my carpet and all of my stuff is in different rooms. So I don't know when I'll be able to do that. But I can work on digitals. I just haven't had the time, but I need to pencil in the time. My Amazon affiliate. I really don't talk about it. And I wasn't going to talk about it until Andra, when she did her financial goals. Andra, the Traveling and Savings Chief, she talked about it. And I was like, dang, I haven't been doing mine either. So I need to work on that too, because you can put them in your channel in the description. It's like not hard. My YouTube. I want to be monetized eventually. My first goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. As of this video, I have 911. So I'm very close. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. Also, I have like 2,400 watch hours. So I'm getting close to hitting that 300 or 3,000 for like subscriptions if I want to do, which I probably won't, and like different things. But obviously monetization is 4,000 watch hours. So if you're bored, I ramble a lot. So yeah, I did not get to do this because I spent time with my son this morning, and well, first spent time for myself, drinking coffee and enjoying life, and then I spent time with my son the rest of the day, and then the carpet guy came, and now I'm up here doing this at whatever time it is right now, like 9 o'clock. So I didn't get a chance to do this, my quarter goals on this paper, which I will, because I want it to match what I talked about here. But then again, I was thinking that maybe I'll write these ones down for more personal goals and keep these over here for financial. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Probably this week. Probably each night this week. Because I like seeing things written down, and I like that people come up with all these papers, which is better than me just writing in notebooks and everything like that. But I really like this. So thank you everybody for listening to me, listening to my story. I'm kind of hearing a little bit of where I came from, what I've been through, and what I'm going through now, and what I'm hoping to achieve again. It's more important for me to understand that past me, like when I used to spend money and not care and ranking up all those credit cards, that hasn't been me in several years, like 16 years. So I really haven't had to worry about that. But it's important to still know that past me isn't current me, but current me has to keep going because we have no other choice. And I'm very happy that I found the budgeting community because I've budgeted for a long time and I didn't know that there was a whole community. I didn't know there was anything on YouTube other than watching music videos and learning how to fix cars until like 3 years ago. And then I watched people's channels and all of this, and here I am. So thank you all. I appreciate you all for giving me the time, and I look forward to hearing all of your financial goals and where you've been and where you're going. Bye, guys.